This year Australia has seen an unprecedented number of shark attacks and calls for more regulations are louder than ever. The ban on drone surveillance has been lifted at Coogee Beach in the wake of that horrific incident over the weekend that left a 35-year-old woman in a critical condition. Meanwhile, the debate over shark culls has reignited, with locals looking for ways to keep coastal communities safe.
For more, we're joined by journalist Angela Mollard and editor of Rome, the nightly's travel magazine, Richard Clune. Good morning to you both. And you're an ocean swimmer yourself. Saturday's incident has many rethinking whether they go back in the ocean. I was at Bondi Beach this morning about 5:30 having a walk. People are still jumping in the dark.
Yeah.
It's like, are you rethinking your
I've been rethinking it all year, but the problem with Saturday's attack in Coogee is that it's completely changed my thinking yet again. I was very much, all those shark attacks, particularly on the east coast in Sydney, in January, were very much brackish water, early time of day, the conditions weren't favourable, that sort of thing. This was 11 o'clock. I was at the beach on Saturday morning. It was sparkling, it was flat, it was clear as could be. She was between the flags. What protection do you have? And I know this brings out the argument around culling yet again. How do we swim safely? Because to be an ocean swimmer, it's exhilarating. It is, you know, I don't want to grow old being scared. I want to grow old being in that ocean. Look, I think we need to move more from beach-based surveillance with, you know, old-style lifeguards to using more drones. I feel very safe when I can see a drone above me. And I'm happy as a swimmer to pay for that, to contribute to that. I don't think that should necessarily be a community-based cost. But I think a deep drill down into how to keep people safe, because this latest one will change people's thinking.
Yeah, and it really has changed. As Ange mentioned, you know, we all sort of think we know the rules around sharks, Richard, and you know, when they're supposed to attack, or we've seen some attacks on spear fishermen, for example. But the reality is the shark management program in New South Wales is costing an extraordinary amount of money, $86 million over 4 years. Clearly, it's not working and needs a rethink.
I think, is it not working? They've put a lot of money into detection. They've put a lot of money into technology. That's the positive step. That's why it's costing so much. To be honest, perhaps we need to go even further with it. Yeah, that is a massive outlay. I agree with that. And we are perhaps asking for more. But I think what's come up with Coogee is the fact that I wasn't aware there was no drone management there. There was no drone detection there. There's an understanding at most Sydney beaches now. I mean, I'm not far from Coogee myself. We've got drones up all day, nearly every day. We've got them on the northern beaches as well. My understanding, or my presumption, was that would be the case at Coogee. So if anything, Eddie, I'm saying probably let's have a look at where we're using that technology. Let's definitely move towards more of it, and how we can detect these beautiful creatures. They are beautiful creatures in a terrible situation, but yeah, what else can we do in and around that?
And we should note too that that has been lifted because that was in place because of the proximity to the airport in Sydney around Coogee. But yeah, most people in the water would have thought that there was some protection.
I also think we need to look at it, and you'd be across this, Richard, through a tourism lens, because this will have a knock-on effect on our tourism. I have friends in the UK who came over the last year. They would not get in the water because of the reporting. And so if we that has to be part of the conversation and part of the financial outlay, I think, because if it quashes tourism, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, it's the news that travels. It's the news that travels. When we're overseas, this is what travels,
Well, moving on.
Sorry, and just hats off to all those heroes.
Oh my God.
Oh, amazing.
Absolutely.
Everyone there.
And just the luck of having those people on the beach at the time who were able to help, unbelievable.